April 2024 sees the beginning of Dark Gallifrey, the continuation of the anthology, and the end of Sontarans versus Rutans, which you may notice is quite a few individual releases. But we do have a couple of box sets as well this month, starting with the Fifth Doctor Adventures, the Dream Team, coming out the 9th. Are we excited for this one?
Oh, it's Peter Davison. We love Peter Davison round here. You know, king of the main range. His box sets have been going hard on the relaunch, and this is no exception. It's another four-parter by Tim Foley, a murder mystery one, the Merfolk Murders by Tim Foley, set in Scotland in the 1940s. Oh, this just sounds perfect.
It's right up our street, isn't it?
It
I mean,
really
I'm
is.
wondering if it's going to be pure historical or not. I won't be upset either way, but just looking at this, from what we've heard in the trailer, it feels like it's leaning that way, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for it. I feel like it would be nice. It's sort of Black Orchid, but hopefully better.
Yeah, I
I
mean, I
enjoy a
quite
bit of Black
yeah.
Orchid, but you know, I feel like with Big Finish, you can get stuff that's on another level, especially when it's by Tim Foley.
And Tim Foley, the Fifth Doctor stuff that he's done so far, Autumn Infinity, Pursuit of the Nightjar, um, it's all been some of our favorite Big Finish of the year. So I think
Yeah.
this is definitely going to be up there. Having Adric this is his first inclusion in the relaunch in a four-part full story. I don't really count God of War because that was part of 40. It feels like its own entity, 40. So it'd be nice to have the season 19 TARDIS crew because they normally go all out with a sort of the season 19 soundscape from previous outings. So I imagine this will go very hard in sort of the Bidmead sort of synthy soundscape.
Yeah, I love the soundtrack that the Fifth Doctor Adventures box sets have at the moment. I mean, you hear a bit of it in the trailer as well, but something about it goes quite hard.
Hmm.
And then the story that makes the title of this box set, The Dream Team, is a two-parter by Lizzie Hopley that sees the Cantrafari return. It's sort of making up for the fact that the Fifth Doctor hasn't been in the last two Classic Doctor's New Monsters set, isn't it?
Well, Davo's above that, He's
Yeah.
king.
And I mean, the Cantrafari have been pretty great on Big Finish so far.
Especially the Eighth Doctor and Charlie story.
Yeah, which was a story with just those two, India Fisher and Paul McGann.
Mhm.
That was the whole cast for that story. It could have practically been a companion chronicle. And here we've got a two-parter, which is just them as a just the main quartet. So it sort of feels like it's along similar lines. So keeping my fingers crossed that'll be just as good, maybe even better. I mean, yeah, it does look like a very exciting box set. It's also giving me Fifth Doctor Adventures vibes,
Mm.
not just because it's your classic Fifth Doctor Tegan, Nyssa, and Adric team. Fifth Doctor box set, by the way, was a box set back in 2014, literally just called the Fifth Doctor box set. Which I sort of say that now because it feels bizarre given how many box
Yeah.
sets we have at this point. You say Fifth Doctor box set, you could be talking about any for
Well,
fans who
that
don't
wasn't
know about that.
the norm. A box set was a special release, and obviously this is going down a future rabbit hole video talking about the rise of single releases and how the
Yeah.
market's probably changing. And I think this year we're having that experiment with single releases, especially this month in particular.
Yeah, four of them coming up to talk about. But yeah, as I say, it's giving me that vibe because you've got your sort of murder mystery style story, which you sort of had in iterations of I.
Yeah.
You had quite a creepy story set over in Ireland there. And then also you've got your more psychedelic story, I suppose, your perhaps Kinder inspired with what you had Psychodrome in the Fifth Doctor box set, which sort of relied on dreams a bit as well. Also, characters' hopes very much built around them as characters. And here it looks like we're getting the same thing. So it does feel like you've got two stories that are following similar vibes, but at the same time, very much doing their own thing. So I've got a good feeling about this one.
Everything's sort of blowing in the right direction for this one, and I hope that we're right with it, and I think we will be.
Yeah. I mean, our little box set for this month is Paternoster Gang Trespassers 2, the casebook of Paternoster Row, which sees Tom Baker join the crew as the Fourth Doctor for the first episode. How are you feeling about this one?
Initially, I was quite excited because I was like, "Oh, Tom Baker, he's normally the sucker that makes me go, well, I'll go and buy it."
Yeah.
But now I've heard the trailer, I can safely say, you know what? I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on it, which I feel,
Paternoster's not quite your thing, is it?
and yeah, but I also feel quite empowered by it that I've managed to say no to the big finish after so
So the
long.
first step in
I
step
feel
away
like
from
I'm
an
being,
abusive relationship.
yeah, I feel like I'm being rehabilitated by able to say no big finish. I don't want that. But they're getting my money other way, so they're not losing out.
No, no, no. They've already got so much from us both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've still not listened to the first Trespassers box set. I did pick it up. It's just so much other stuff to listen to that it's one of those ones that's fallen by the wayside a bit. It's not something that I'm not interested. I mean, I bought it, so there's some interest on display there. But yeah, it's one that I'm on the fence about. I feel like I'll probably inevitably pick it up just because I picked up the first one. I'm going to want to get this one as well. But yeah, it's not one I'm rushing towards or overly hyped for. Although it does have a story by Gary Russell in.
Which is quite cool.
Yeah. I know you've also got the dream team of Laura Mooney and Stuart Pringle, who have done some wonderful stories elsewhere. So yeah, I'd be interested to see how they fare with the Paternoster Gang. But yeah, just not one I'm rushing to get, I suppose. I mean, along similar lines at the moment is Dark Gallifrey. Yeah, that is kicking off 3rd of April. So not that long away. 2 days after this video has come out, in fact.
Yeah.
How we feel about Dark Gallifrey at the moment? Because this has sort of been a bit of a funny one for us, hasn't it?
It's interesting because the day we're recording this, I edited the What is Dark Gallifrey video, and watching that back, I was like, you know what? I'm actually becoming more and more on board with it. Like we say, this is by Tim Foley. Tim Foley's little blog post about his inspiration for it, I think that sparked a lot of, okay, I like where this is going. With it being inspired by a painting and it being very much like a novel over sort of 3 hours. And, being one writer, this is a thing we're starting to see with the War Doctor, what's it called
Rises.
now? War Doctor Rises. So it feels like a nice little direction. As we say, we're a huge fan of Tim Foley. He's probably Big Finish's best writer. So at this current moment in time, I am quite excited for Morbius. I really enjoyed the trailer, which is a rarity. But right now, I'm
audio trailers are tricky to get right, aren't they?
Yeah, because how do you, sort of...
You often need context.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, when they post the trailers online, you get sort of sea devil noises and stuff like that. So you're like, oh, that's exciting. But yeah, it's hard to sort of convey the plot without giving much away, and sort of, yeah, it's hard. But this trailer, I like the whole feel of it. But yeah,
I think all the trailers for this month actually are pretty solid ones. I love the Dream Team trailer. This Dark Gallifrey trailer's not bad. I absolutely love the War Doctor Sontarans vs. Rutans trailer.
Yeah, that's a really good trailer.
But, more on that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we did get a comment on the What is Dark Gallifrey video. If you haven't watched that, please do check that out after this for more details about where we're at with Dark Gallifrey. Yeah. Ben said if it were a box set, it would already be pre-ordered. Unfortunately, I can't justify the expense of buying them separately, which I think is a sentiment that quite a few people share.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of where I'm on the fence right now is the whole thing of, okay, how do I go for this? Because you can save a bit of money by doing the massive bundle of all 8 series that takes you through to 2027.
Hmm.
But at the same time, that's a big commitment to do, and it's like, it saves you money in the long run. But at the same time, it's going to sting in the short term, having that
Yeah,
much go out of
and
your bank account. Something that you're not sure quite where it's going to go.
we're
Like, I
still
don't,
in the dark with it, pun
yeah,
intended.
yeah, it's going to sting if we get in, like, 3 series into this. I'm like, yeah, it's not, none of it's doing anything for me. And I've already committed to the whole 8. I mean, as Tim Foley put in his blog post, each one's going to be very different. If one doesn't work for you, perhaps the next one will. So hopefully that is the case. Hopefully they all work for us because we want good stories, stories that we enjoy, stories that click with us constantly.
And I think people are very cautious now because of Wanton Future. So
Yeah,
a lot of people have felt burnt by that. So I think people are a lot more on the fence to jump into these big things now.
I think knowing as well that it was planned originally to be box sets sort of stings a bit as well in a way. Sort of makes you a bit more cynical, but at the same time, you do get individual cover art thanks to this. You get like the building of anticipation as you wait month to month for cliffhangers. It's worked out very well for Sontarans versus Rutans, so we'll see how it plays out here. Although with that, they were very much individual stories. This is very much a third of a story being sold on its own with Morbius Part 1.
Well, we like Friend of a Family, Diary of a Song. That's a 4-hour long story, so I'm sure the Tim Foley one will be great. And the way he described it being sort of Big Finish's modern version of the Villains trilogy from 2003. Which, some of the best Big Finish out there. So that's quite an exciting sort of comparison.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and it will be fun to discuss it together once we.
We'll have to work out
finally
how we do
start
it,
this.
whether we do part 1, part 2, or part,
It
individually
will all
or
just
as a thing.
be, how it comes, how we're feeling,
Yeah.
if we're enjoying it or not. We'll definitely be letting you know our thoughts one way or the other, though, in some form or another on this channel. But Torchwood, the anthology, continues with Missing Molly this month. Did you pick up Tube Strike?
No, I didn't.
Do you think you will at some point? Because with these Torchwoods, it is easy to sort of have
I think I will
playthrough
at some point, yeah. I will.
day. Yeah. You got your Weevils in there.
I don't know.
It's
I'm
quite exciting
quite
one.
partial to a Weevil.
I mean, this one sort of seems like the hardest one to sell of the trilogy, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's not really any strong hook to it. But at the same time, it sort of gives off the vibe that it could be the strongest at the same time. I can't explain why. Certainly, with the subject matter of, this girl going missing from the estate that Yanto lives just around the corner from, it's something that can be quite hard hitting. It'd be interesting how Gareth David Lloyd tackles that. So yeah, I do feel like this one has potential, but at the same time, it's hard to say about it because it is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of details concealed, probably for a reason, probably because of twists and turns within the story. It's just not. There's not really much to say about it right now. I mean, I've been picking up a lot of Torchwood recently. I need to get around to listening to more of them. But yeah, we'll see on that one. Something we're not really picking up, Star Cops. Blood Moon is continuing. It's now up to the 4th installment.
Ooh. That's exciting for all 10 people.
I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more.
Yeah.
I mean that in I jest. We prioritize Doctor Who here. I'm sure there's a lot of crossover.
I mean, it was Chris Boucher, the original creator, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's certainly some crossover there. Uh, but yeah, I mean, if you're a Starcourts fan, let us know how Blood Moon's going.
Power to you.
Try and tempt us to pick it up. We challenge you. It's just, yeah, not our thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be our thing if we tried it, but
That's it. That's it.
we're
We
saving
just don't
money
know.
by avoiding trying.
That's our logic there.
Yeah. But finally, Sontarans versus Rutans.
We've invested in this.
Yeah, it's coming to a close, which is kind of sad, but I'm excited to see how it all wraps up. Because this is the one that's going to give us the answers. This is the one that the whole mystery that we've had play out so far. We've been teased. This is what it's building to. And, I mean, Jonathan Carley, what a gift he's been to Big Finish as the young War Doctor.
You cannot fault him. Because to take on an actor like John Hurt, who is so renowned, and then to Jonathan Carley just to, swagger in and just do his thing, unbelievable. I think he's one of the best recast Big Finish have got. He's up there. He's up there.
It's so much more than an, imitation, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a living, breathing character that he's performing to perfection, really. It's wonderful to listen to. There's such a spark to his Doctor, really. And yeah, I think the emotional moments as well. I mean, you hear some of them within this trailer. He absolutely nails. Such a strong pair of hands for this character to be in. And I'm looking forward to having him in, joining in with the other Doctors in a way. It's not in a multi-Doctor way, but in the sense that this is something beyond just a regular War Doctor box set. This is part of Sontarans versus Rutans event. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Which is unusual because Time War stories usually hit and miss for me. But
see, I've just had a horrible thought.
Oh no,
Shadow of the Daleks. That was John Dorney Part 2. He concluded that, didn't he?
Yeah, that's true. But that I feel like was more reliant on the final part. In what had come before. Whereas with Sontarans versus Rutans, I don't feel like the previous ones still stand alone very well.
Yeah, that is true.
Without whatever this finale is going to be. So yeah, I'm still intrigued. Plus, it's an hour long as well.
Yes, that is true.
Shadow of the Daleks' conclusion was only half an hour, and I think that very much hurt that one. So,
I mean, it's a fantastic cover by Sean Longmore, who
wonderful to have.
Really helped sell the series even more.
Very much drawing you into the world of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Really
you want those in sort of the Art of Audio book or just as posters, but check out our reviews of Sontaran versus Rutans. So far,
got all three of the previous parts up on the channel. This one will be coming along once it comes out, once we can listen to it. At the time of recording, no date yet. I'm gonna stab in the dark, say 16th of April, be my guess. The Tuesday.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. We'll see how that plays out. I mean, by the time it's out, everyone probably already knows. You might even be able to edit a bit into the video, whether I was right or wrong.
Yeah,
we shall see.
But before we say goodbye, what release is tingling your molecules in April?
Ooh, probably Fifth Doctor with Sontarans vs. Rutans as a very close run-up. They're both doing a lot for me.
I'd have to agree. It's Fifth Doctor. Fifth Doctor for me.
Yeah, we love a bit Big Davo.
We do love Davo here.
Yeah. So we now hand over to you, dear viewer. Which release is tingling your molecules the most currently? Which one can you not wait to get your ears around, let us know in the comments below. Leave a like as well if you've enjoyed this. I say little April roundup. I feel like we've gone on a bit more than we usually do.
I think
Even
there's
though
a lot
it's
to unpack in terms of
yeah,
like the mechanics of what's going on with Big Finish behind the scenes.
yeah, that's true. And it's an exciting month as well.
It is.
Oh, yeah. A lot of potential heavy hitters are coming our way. So yeah, reviews for most of these will be out at some point over the coming month, I should imagine. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you then. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.